The Royal Marines is here, and then there's the parading of the hounds, parading of the sheep, cattle, horses, all right, and pigs as well. Yeah, so that's that. Yeah.
Could I explain what the county show is? The county show is a social occasion for people who live in the countryside. They bring their best farm animals to the show to compete with each other. And it's generally a big social occasion where people meet together and they go and have a look and chat. It's all good fun, really.
Well, we're very fond of the Bath and West because they always make you welcome, and here you get free straw for the cattle, and everybody is helpful, and you get paid for the milk here, which you don't at some shows, and it's nice to meet your friends.
I wouldn't say it's a great social side to rabbits.
Well, no. You do meet a lot of...
meet a lot of people. We're all friends because we're in the same club.
Yes,
Yeah.
Well, I've been involved since I was 3 or 4. My parents were both very horsey. I'm planning to go totty hunting a bit later, but I gotta. Well, that's after I've jumped my class, because otherwise I'll run out of time. And I'll get in trouble by the parents because I haven't done my job properly. But plenty of time for everything.
Things have changed a terrific amount. Yeah, they really have. You know, things were a lot slower, and there wasn't the rush and tear that there is today. There wasn't, you know, and...
Well, donkeys are so intelligent. A lot of people don't think they are, but donkeys are so intelligent, it's unbelievable. They're almost as intelligent, I would say, as a dog.
We got one donkey that came from the middle of London. That got too much for his owner. We've got another donkey that came from Ross-on-Wye. We've got another donkey that's came in with another donkey, and then we've got another donkey that came with a little donkey that we've got.
Anybody standing there like you hasn't the faintest idea what we're talking about. It's all it's a word. What's the word?
No.
Other people wouldn't understand what we're talking about. They wouldn't. To watch the eggs being judged, people say, "How would you judge an egg?" But to some people, eggs are so important, and to get them just right, other people just eat them on breakfast.
No.
My main reason for being competitive is because I know the more I win, the more girlfriends I'll have. And the more girlfriends I have, probably the more I'll win, because the more support I'll get, just as I go in a big pressure class. So the idea is to keep winning and keep gaining lots of girlfriends at these shows.
So first prize goes to number 116, Bowsdown Alpacas, Oxfordshire.
The judge we've got today is from Peru, Dr. Julio Sumar, and he is one of the best regarded judges in the world, and he's come here especially from Peru to judge today. Only I think he's going to be here till midnight at this rate, so...
You're all in a line, and the judge is walking up and down behind you, and then walks up and down in front of you, and then he moves up and he pats or slaps on the back of the animal that's the winner, and that animal moves forward. So you're there, and he moves towards you. This is it. And then the bucker turns and goes up the other way, and then he comes back. And it's a terrific feeling when he slaps, and then the crowd all applaud. And it's great feeling.
Oh yeah, it's like a drug. It's like you've had a large scotch suddenly, and then you go on to having a whole bottle, and you keep coming back for more, and you want more, and when you get more, you want more, and you feel quite elated afterwards and really excited. Yeah, it's really good.
I think you could say that Show Me a good loser, and I'll show you a loser.
If you keep waterfowl, number one, you're going to need a pond. Especially if you keep white ones. But if you ain't got a pond, and you've only got little dishes and buckets, then everything's all mucked up. And then it's 10 times more work.
A little bit disappointing in the results because the best eggs for the show were actually duck eggs. And I did really well with my chicken eggs and got lots of prizes. But I've been beaten by duck eggs, so it's a waterfowl against chicken, which is disappointing.
You're trying to maintain a standard to get the ones which will go on to the next stage of breeding, and so it's constant selection towards perfection. Breed like rabbits, forget it. Hell no.
All the pigs here, of course, are pedigreed. We can go back generations. A pig without a pedigree is just a pig.
And there's no problems with the conformation at any aspect of it. The animal is a well-conformed animal.
You do occasionally get people cheat. They use the same eggs for more than one show, or use them for quite a few shows in some cases, but you normally get caught out if you cheat. They hard boil the eggs so that they don't go off and use the same eggs again and again. Or
buy them.
Yeah, there may be people that buy them. I don't know. I don't buy my eggs personally.
No.
No.
Eggs, no.
Not at all.
I've never shown eggs. Only when I was forced to once.
When you're checking out the competition, you wait until they all go back to their truck and trailers for their evening meal or whatever, and then you come up and have a good look round late at night in the twilight hours.
There are stories about cows that have been milked out and in the middle of the night, and bulls that have suddenly gone lame, and all this kind of capers, and blown up with wind because someone's put someone in the food or whatever. But I mean, that's a kind of their stories, and that happens very, very infrequently.
We've had one or two very slight instances over the last 5 years, but in the old days, when there was... I'm just giving an interview to a gentleman who's doing a TV series, Carl, and I'll give you a ring right back, all right? Okay. Sorry about that.
Thank you very much.
I don't think they'll ever die out. It may do in time, but because really, when you've got animals, little ones like to come and see it all the time. They always want to see a pig or a sheep or a rabbit. So that's all I'm going to tell you anyway. If you want to know any bloody more, you better sort that out yourself.
There's always that thing, isn't there, of families. There are bonds that are very strong and loyalties and all those things that hold the family together, and then they're usually balanced by pain and misery and I mean, I really haven't got time to go into it because it'll take all day.
How do you get on with your brothers and sisters and your mum and your dad?
I don't get on with my sister very well. No, I don't get on with my brother, and I don't get on with my brother at all. But I get on with my mum and dad fine.
I sometimes get on with my mum and dad. They sometimes get really grumpy.
Introduce yourselves, first of all.
I'm Brian. And I'm Keith. We're brothers. Brothers, man, by blood, not by just the name. As brothers go, he's cool. As his unique ways, let's say. You know? Right. As everybody does.
Oh, your family makes you feel like it's a roller coaster of emotion, isn't it, really? Well, some things are really joyous moments, and others are fraught with desperation. It's the roller coaster ride of life, isn't it, really?
That and my wife and my daughter and I live.
Monica's got 2 children as well, but hers live one
at home and one in Reading. I got a son in Reading.
How did you feel when they sort of left the...
Well, he left the nest. He didn't come back, really.
Is that one of yours as well?
Yeah.
I've got 3 children, 2 girls and a boy, and then I've got a boy and girl which are twins, and then
I've got twin girls, and they've got
3,
4
each.
4 children each. So I've got 8 grandchildren from my daughters.
And at the minute I've got 3 grandsons, and I'm hoping for a granddaughter soon, I hope.
Well, he's got 5, and I've actually got, here I've got Jasmine, I've got Kay and Charlotte and Matt, and I have another 3 in Swindon. So I've got Jay, Jerome and Jessica in Swindon. Yeah. So I've got 7.
Yeah.
7 meals to get at.
Yeah.
Plus our own. Plus I travel backwards and forwards in between both, like.
This day in the morning, it is sunny.
Is it?
When I stand on my brother's toe, by accident, he tries to hit me in the head. On purpose. Like this. Oh!
I normally give me a little punch, and I give my daughter a little hug. And that's it really, and the sort of now I'm a Jodie, then I'm rough and ready, and they normally give us a bit of a punch back or a bit of a squeeze sort of thing, and it's just great to see them.
My eldest daughter will be 68 this year. And she is beautiful.
Is she?
Still beautiful.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Well, every child is beautiful to their mother.
Oh, no. I've got 3. I wouldn't say they're all beautiful.
Oh.
You can't tell what your children will look like when they're inside there, can you? I mean, what's going to come out? Well, you know there's going to be a bit of you and a bit of her. And you hope what comes out is going to be the best bits of you and the best bits of her. And if they could only come out showing the best bits of both of you, then they'd be better than you, wouldn't they? That's what we want. We want all our children to be better than what we are now.
So how many chicks have you hatched then, do you think, over the years?
Hundreds and hundreds. Hundreds, haven't we?
And they must be so tiny.
It's amazing.
Well, no, that's huge. I was so surprised, yes. I mean, the eggs was about so. And it came out huge.
Wow.
You just collect them, don't you?
And once you start, yes, more appears and more you get.
When the baby was born, I looked at the baby and it was all wrinkly and old looking. And I thought, ooh, what is that?
My son's diabetic, and one day he gets highs and lows, and one day he was really depressed with his diabetes, and he kept saying to me and my wife, how come I'm diabetic, my sister's not? So I tried to cheer him up. I says, well, you know what it is? I says, I'll swap you any time you want. I'll have your diabetes and you can have my Geordie accent. And you know what he said? He says, no, I'd rather be diabetic than have a Geordie accent. I said, you're joking on you? I said, well, it's great, isn't it? It's great.
He's very intelligent. He knows everything you're telling him. That's what I like mostly about him. You can tell him to go to his bowl and he'll go and he'll pick out a treat himself and he'll wander off and he'll eat it. And whatever you tell him, he'll understand sometimes better than a human. And he never ever does it on the pavement.
Oh, go for that. I say I do.
Twinkle little star.
Yeah, you know that song, do you?
Baba black sheep.
No, what's the other one? Twinkle little what?
Hide you anymore.
What's that big thing in the sky?
Yes, sir. 3 bags full. 1 for the
You
night.
can't shut her up when she gets going.
1 for the day.
They just show that they love you. It's like all of them, isn't it? They all got characters and they all show that, well, they rely on you to look after them, obviously. And I only got to say, come on bedtime, and they'll come and they'll follow me. They go for walks.
Really?
Yes, walk around the fields, walk, they just follow me.
I've been very lucky to have children. Well, so many.
2 husbands you've had, haven't you? Or 3?
4 children.
How many husbands?
Oh, that's not the point. Nobody asked me how many husbands.
Yes,
you
but-
will bring that up, which is
Are all
very
the children
wrong.
to one
No.
husband?
That's a subject that is private.
Ah. No. I've only had 2.
Oh, you've had 2? Well, I've only...
Children?
Oh, I thought you said husbands.
No,
then.
no.
I couldn't have a better dad. I couldn't look up to anybody. I couldn't see anybody telling me how to live my life any better than the way my dad did. And I hope I can be just as good to my own children. I try, but I don't think I can be. I don't think anybody could be as good as my dad. Oh, my dad's my hero, without a doubt, definitely.
That's it.
Yeah. Well, thanks a lot.
Right here.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, only varies.
Mummy?
Yes?
It's gone.
Okay, man. Can I have an ice cream?
Mum?
Yes.
Want ice cream?
Do you?
Yes. I want the one with that strawberry stuff nibbled over from the ice cream man.
What, a 99 you mean?
Yeah.
With a flake?
Ooh, I could perhaps manage one of those. A rainbow one.
All green and slimy with googly eyes. Googly eyes and little thingies that go up in the air with round bits on the end. Antennae. Yeah, with a spaceship.
I don't believe in aliens, really. I don't believe in strange people and strange creatures and strange anything, because God wouldn't create anything that's not perfect and that's abnormal and strange.
No, I don't believe there's alien life on this planet. I believe there's something, but what we don't know. But I believe there's something that we've not been told about that.
What do you mean if aliens existed? Aliens do exist. Everybody knows aliens exist.
I think if aliens existed, I would think they're about that small. Some of them, these are the good ones, that small, and they have quite a big head, and they're very good at sums, and they have small legs and arms.
I've no idea what aliens would look like. They could look like anything. There might just be a ball of gas, or an idea, or a particular coloured light.
The whole conspiracy thing about aliens is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, why on earth would they visit us to fly around in some farmer's back garden in the back end and beyond in Suffolk to just bugger off again? It just doesn't make sense whatsoever. And the whole thing about UFOs in the sky is just beyond me.
Well, what is a UFO?
You know what a UFO is?
What does it stand for?
I can't remember. Something. What is it?
An unidentified flying object? No, I've never seen one of those. I don't even know what one is.
So anything that you don't identify that flies past you is a UFO, isn't it? So basically, if it's a bird that you don't recognise, what's that? You get the book out, you can't identify it. That was a UFO, wasn't it?
No, you're being silly.
I've seen a UFO at a time when UFOs were being sighted in Lancashire. People were saying they had flying saucers going over the rooftops in a suburb of Bolton. And one news reporter claimed to have taken a photograph, but whether it was a genuine photo is another thing.
I came beginning of May in 1984 because it's a beautiful planet. You can see it from quite far. It looks very attractive.
It's not as striking, the difference that people expect when they ask, how different is it than home? I mean, you hate to lapse into this whole stereotype about how the English people are who live around me.
We have radionic equipment, which we call spiritual energy radiators, which have been in operation now for over 30 years. Every unselfish action is potentized by spiritual energy radiators.
You have here like shopping centers, which are like community centers nowadays. You have people on Saturday take their children to shopping center, like probably that's one of the elements of care and community programs they have now. They develop, strong enough medication so they can keep you quiet and you can just walk around and look at the bright, shiny things.
Yeah.
Makes you happy.
I mean, they make these models of aliens. I mean, how can they make models of aliens when they've never ever seen aliens? You know what I mean? Is that is that a fuss? You know?
Yeah, but
but is it?
Yeah,
you
but
know what I mean?
you're allowed to have that imagination, aren't you?
Yeah, but I mean, how can they mould an alien when they've not seen an alien?
Well, if somebody asks you what's an alien look like...
Well, I couldn't tell them because I don't know, because I've never seen one.
If they say, right, what do you think it looks like?
Well, again, I wouldn't be able to tell you because I don't know.
Yeah, but wouldn't you go saying, I think they might look like this, or...
Well, they could be 2 foot tall.
Well, I think a lot of the portrayal of aliens comes from people who say they've seen aliens or they've been beamed up by aliens. Some of these stories people come out with.
Do you think they are stories, or do you think they're true?
There's no doubt in my mind that these people have had an experience.
No, I think that's nonsense, to be honest. I think people have either had too much to drink or they've just got very imaginative imaginations.
I reckon they've been on some sort of wacky-backy type stuff, I reckon, if they're saying they've been abducted by it. So
they glow in the dark,
The first few months in this country, I had to learn that you do not kiss everybody to say hello. And I did with the postman. I opened the door, there was the postman, I gave him a kiss on his cheek twice or whatever. And he was absolutely shocked.
I've loved the weather here. And I know that sounds crazy because everyone always complains about the weather here. Oh, it's very temperate. Living in the city, you hardly ever have a freeze. And when you do have snow, it's pretty and it melts when it hits the ground, which is ideal.
Yeah, I reckon there's quite a few of them roaming around the planet at the moment. And
Well, I think just the opposite. To be honest, I don't think at this particular time aliens do not exist. Until someone comes up with the proof that they are existing.
There's a lot of proof that they exist on other planets, isn't there?
It may not be kind of like we might be looking at sort of, looking at things in other dimensions, other planes. Doesn't have to be travelling through long distances, things like the elves and the fairies.
Wacky people. Wacky people. Real strange.
This is home, everything is a bit upside down, but that's the way it is.
But it's becoming level.
I've learned that it's very important to be polite.
Yes.
You have to remember to say certain amount of thank yous and sorries. You have to say sorry to people you shouldn't really say. You walk on the street and there's a person walking in front of you.
Yes.
And suddenly those two people perform a dance saying sorry, and you don't know which way to move.
Yes.
I think that was something which I felt a bit amused by that.
Yes. Mainly, I just watched Jeremy Paxman.
Now, as to whether they visited us or not, recently, I couldn't tell you. They might have. Who's to say they ain't here now?
My theory is we came from another planet.
It's just pants. I don't believe in it.
Family's been out here running a donkey ride since 1886. We've been here, so we're a long-established family, and we've seen a lot of changes over the years.
We're great beach people, but not sunburning, but not sunbathing. The bottom line is we never sunbathe.
The wind, if it's too strong, it's not so comfortable. You know, a bit cool. But today I found quite pleasant, to be quite honest. Yes, rather warmer than yesterday, I thought.
I think you just take potluck, don't you?
A little bit of a joke, isn't it?
If it rains, then we've got wet weather gear, so it doesn't really stop us.
When it does rain, it clears the beach. As soon as you get some rain, there can be thousands of people along the beach. As soon as you get a drop of that rain, they're gone.
Donkey rides, and dodging cars and candy floss, toffee apples, they're the things that you sort of associate with a British seaside resort, you know.
Yeah, indeed. My wife and I holiday annually in Cornwall or Devon. My wife actually must have sea and coast on her holiday agenda, so that over the many years, even though all our holidays have been in Britain, we've only once been to a non-coastal county, which is Shropshire. We had a fine holiday there, but the need to be near the sea nevertheless draws us back time and time again.
I think the favourite beach that I do is right up there where you can see the cliffs at Scarborough, where the donkey ride is on the south side, on the north side. I think that's the nicest part of the Bridlington Beach, but I think the Scarborough Beach is the nicest one that I've ever been to.
Yes, I think we've got a lovely beach. The only problem is obviously the sea doesn't come in very often. Usually it's only in twice a day, and it usually seems to be the wrong time of the day for holiday makers.
What I love is just splashing in the waves, and it's really cold, and you just jump in the sea, swim around in there, and it's just really nice.
Oh no, I wouldn't do that. No, too many germs in the sea, too many things that can make you ill and bad. You know, if you want to stay healthy, stay out of the sea. That's what I say.
Not very good at swimming. I just sink. Don't know why that is. I do though, it's true, because people say if you lie on your back you float. Well, you don't. Well, I don't, I just sink.
I do like swimming in the sea. I've always done it. We used to go to Cornwall, which it was nice, but it was always windy, always cold. But if I find this area, we always feel, much better. I wouldn't mind living down there, to be quite honest.
I had octopus once when I didn't know it was octopus marine. Very tough, yes. Very tough. But I ate it. I'm saying now that I won't eat prawns and all these things, but I ate that. Yeah. But when I knew afterwards, like everybody else, I felt quite ill.
In our own part of the world, we're extremely attached to Whitby and visited in what's called our Whitby season, which is from October to March.
I've always felt uncomfortable with hot weather. I don't like hot weather. I don't like it. So, and you don't either.
No, I can't.
So we're agreed on that.
I love sunbathing because it's very warm and it's very relaxing, and it's almost like just being in bed, really, isn't it? Except it's like having a big electric blanket over you all the time, and you go brown, and that's always good.
I can't sunbathe for very long because I had a very hot summer. I got sunstroke and I can't sit out for too long. I can sit for so long, I sit for an hour, get some plenty of cream on, but after that I start feeling sick and I've got to come in.
At the end of the day, what's it doing? It's cooking you, isn't it? The sun is actually cooking you.
Plus
That's why you go brown flat.
If I'm in it for 10 minutes, I get a heat rash.
No, don't want to burn my skin, do I? Bad for you.
I love scrambling over rocks, being in the rock pools, and just looking for cracks and looking for mussels.
Oh, the best place for rock pooling is definitely Sidmouth. Really, really, really lovely rock pools everywhere. And I was rock pooling with the little kids, and I was sort of digging around with, marvelling at nature. Oh, this disgusting thing, this turd fish, and it comes really suddenly, and pulled it up and I was trying to sort of marvel at it with the children. It was so disgusting. I just ended up screaming and chucking it back.
Well, you notice pollution. I think they're a lot cleaner than they used to be, the beaches in this country. They're beginning to get their act together, I think, now. Well, they have to, don't they? These European regulations on beaches.
Well, the one what springs to my mind, it was a very, very big spillage.
Worst fear, I suppose, isn't it? If you dive in, you dive in.
Yeah.
You
don't want to go in the water and come up with like oil all over you.
Yeah.
It must put people off a holiday to see the state of it.
I think they get fined. I'm almost certain they do get fined. The ship owners.
Pollution is a problem everywhere, isn't it? I don't know. On the beach, what do you get? What pollution do you get on the beach? You get, well, too many people, probably, with worse pollution and radios.
We wouldn't sit next to someone that had radios blaring out and were really being loud and everything. I think if they came and sat next to us, we'd move. If we were sitting on the beach or if they had dogs or stuff like that. We wouldn't stay there.
But the only reason I'm still doing this job is because of the children. If you see their faces as they get off a coach, remember some have never seen a beach before, and it gives us great pleasure. The children are what make the job.
The old stuff, the donkeys and the carts and things like that, they're going to be around for a long time to come, yeah. The high-tech games, I think really they've had their day.
So coming back tomorrow and hopefully swim again. Not doing well. I don't know what the forecast is for tomorrow, but if it's like this, we should be here. Okay. Right. Nice to spoken to you anyway.
As to the finest holiday that I've had, I would probably say, paradoxically, that it was in the Lake District during the foot and mouth epidemic.
My ideal British holiday, I'd probably like a weekend city break myself, living by the sea.
Don't want if I had this bit.
Well, the difference between cats and dogs. Cats don't wag their tail like a dog, and yes, they do. Sometimes they do. They don't go. Oh no, they don't do that. And they don't sit and go. And they don't fetch balls as well as dogs.
One's got a waggy tail and a cold nose, and the claws are like totally contracted all the time, whereas the other one contract their claws and it's got sharper teeth and pointed ears.
Which one's which?
The cats are the ones with contracted jaws and sharp teeth and the sharp pointed ears.
Excuse me. I think I'm an oddity. I've got a foot in both camps, really, and I appreciate either animal for very different qualities.
I like dogs better than cats, though.
I don't.
They seem to be more friendly somehow. Dogs like greet you, whereas cats just sit, they can sleep for so long. No.
Cats can appear to be lazy, but I don't think they are.
They have big claws, like bears, and they look like bears.
They just sit about all day and get fed and go meow, 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 meow.
I find cats, they claw the carpet a lot. They're a complete nuisance, actually.
Meow, meow, meow.
I think you get more out of a dog in response.
Well, they're more interesting, aren't they?
I think they're thicker than cats, personally.
Do you?
I do.
Meow, 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 meow. And I go, shut up.
I used to be a chaser myself, but I mean,
it's about what?
It's all about competitiveness, you know what I mean? You see these blokes and like it's like I said, they've been let off a lead. You know what I mean? Like,
It's
and
like,
then, like,
it's like
it's just more than life, man.
Watching hounds after a hare, you know what I mean? It's
I've been bitten by dogs, I've been bitten by cats, I've been bitten by... Oh, you name it, I'll claim it.
Once I was walking past a house and the door suddenly flew open and a dog with a head the size of Albania jumped out, and its teeth were an inch away from my face and its mouth was so big I could have lived inside that mouth quite comfortably, and I was nearly killed.
I've been chased by a Great Dane, a slavering big thing, and it frightened me. I've been bitten by a beagle. I've been chased by an old English sheepdog, which was, I would say that was a springboard into me becoming a Christian.
You always say dogs come sniffing at your private parts.
Do I?
That's one thing you always say.
Well, they told me they're not, that they're just being affectionate.
Dogs wag their tails to get the smell of their farts away, and the cat just walks around with its tail in the air.
Dogs I like very much because of their great intelligence and loyalty generally, and just so animated and, you know, great chums.
I don't think I've ever had fleas. I think the closest I ever got was scabies, and that was quite bad enough. You would entirely cover your body from head to toe with this alcohol solution. And there was always this sort of nagging doubt that some part of your anatomy would catch light like a fuse, and it would just be an enormous blue puff.
I think the best thing to do is to put on some flea powder, which you get from the vet. But it's probably not a good idea to have a good scratch, because that makes it red and raw and a bit rough and everything.
You know, I've never had any breed that's been a kind of a pampered, you know, pooch. You know,
they breed these mutant dogs, don't they, and give them awards for how mutated they look. And if it's a perfect mutant, it's got a pedigree. But if you crossbreed it with another mutant, it's called a mongrel.
Most pedigree dogs, to get them perfect, they've got things wrong with them. It's either the bull terrier or the bulldog can hardly breathe because they bred into them, that flattened face. It's a bulldog, isn't it? And a lot of the breeds have suffered all the short crops.
They look ridiculous with silly bowls. Looks stupid.
I'm certainly a loyal companion, but I have to say I've been let down a lot too in my life. I might be very loyal, but I do like my father said before me. He said, you trust everybody once. And that's what I do. I trust everybody once, no matter who they are. So I'm loyal to the point of disloyalty.
Cats, on the other hand, they are the clever ones. They give humans nothing.
I'm not a cat person. No, they're not loving enough, and they hiss a bit, and they don't do anything. They just wee all over the garden and leave brown stains all over the grass and just make a nuisance of themselves.
I've defecated outside, of course I have. You know what I mean?
If you step in dog mess, then it's not very hygienic, and it's not very it's just not nice.
You kind of get an antennae. The slightest thing, kind of, you know what's going on over there? Sidestep it. And if you can't sidestep it, make sure you come through it.
Because at the end of the day, cats, when they go to the toilet, they clean up and they cover up after them. And that has got to be a sign of higher intelligence.
That's a dirty, filthy business, and that ought to be stopped totally.
I think dogs are more, for a start, I think they smell more. Whereas a cat, you can leave a cat to it. Whereas with a dog,
Yeah, but if you've got a burglar coming in your house, at least a dog makes a noise. A
yeah,
cat
but you could
wouldn't.
throw the cat at the burglar.
That's a silly thing to say. Dogs are more interesting. And that's the end of it.
No, it's not the end of it.
We'll just have to agree to disagree then.
And I've got a lovely smile, as my mum says. So, I look good for my age too.
No. No, I think I'm... No.